An animal that went extinct 13,000 years ago, the direwolf. Today, it lives with us once more, or at least, that's what Colossal Biosciences claims, a US-based biotech firm that is working on the de-extinction of several other species as well, like the moa, a mysterious giant bird that once dominated the forests and plains of New Zealand before vanishing in the 13th century, or the Tasmanian tiger, which roamed Australia until it went extinct in 1936, the dodo bird, native to the island of Mauritius, wiped out by the 1600s, and the woolly mammoth, a massive elephant-like creature built for icy climates and gone for nearly 4,000 years. According to Colossal, the Direwolf project is their first real success in the field of de-extinction. But is it really a comeback? Or just a modern wolf with a few ancient features? It's a fair question, and one that many scientists are now asking. The direwolf gained widespread fame through pop culture, most notably in Game of Thrones, where giant wolves fiercely stood by the side of key characters. This entire experiment almost feels like it was inspired by that very imagery. At first, it all seems unbelievable, but the moment this news went public, it started raising questions. Many researchers don't agree with what the company claims. They say these are not direwolves. They are just heavily edited grey wolves, a designer version, modified in a lab. So are we really on the edge of a new era, where extinct animals will be brought back to life again? Are we going to see a real-life Jurassic Park? Or is this all just hype and headlines? By this time, you must be thinking, how do you de-extinct an animal? And what methods are even available? Well, there are three main ways to bring an extinct animal back. The first method is known as backbreeding. This involves selectively breeding modern relatives of extinct animals until you revive ancient physical traits. The best example is the quagga project. Quaggas were zebra-like animals that went extinct in the 1800s. Scientists began breeding zebras with fewer stripes, selecting offspring that looked more like quaggas with each generation. Eventually, they created zebras that visually resembled quaggas, though genetically, they weren't true quaggas. The second method is cloning. This requires living cells from an extinct animal, something nearly impossible if the species has been gone for centuries. A famous attempt was the cloning of the bucado, a Spanish mountain goat. Though one kid was born in 2003, it died minutes later due to lung defects. Still, it marked the first time an extinct animal was cloned, even if only briefly. And finally, there's genetic engineering. This is where Colossal comes in. Instead of relying on living cells, scientists extract DNA from ancient fossils. Using tools like CRISPR-Cas9, basically like tiny molecular scissors, they identify which parts of the ancient DNA can be edited into the genome of a living relative. In this case, the grey wolf. For the dire wolf, scientists used two fossils: a 13,000-year-old tooth from Sheridan Cave in Ohio and a 70,000-year-old skull from Idaho. They extracted DNA fragments from both. While the full genome wasn't recovered, Colossal claims they found enough useful sequences to make meaningful edits. These edits focused on 14 genes, affecting skull shape, body size, fur texture, and more. Using CRISPR, they made 20 specific edits to grey wolf DNA. Then they inserted these altered nuclei into dog egg cells and placed the embryos into surrogate mothers. In October 2024, two pups were born, Romulus and Remus. A third, Khaleesi, followed in early 2025. But there's something you should know. Maybe these aren't true dire wolves, but just some genetically modified wolves. They drink from bottles, are raised in a fenced compound, monitored by drones. They will never live in the wild. They will never be part of a natural wolf pack. So, have we brought back the direwolf? Maybe not really. We've created something new. Well, if you ask me whether de-extinction is a good or bad thing, I'd say it's a remarkable scientific achievement, but yeah, the criticism is definitely valid too. See, bringing an extinct animal back to life just to put it on display, take selfies with it, or turn it into entertainment, that's not the point. De-extinction should mean reintroducing that animal into the natural world, letting it take up the ecological role it once had. Like how woolly mammoths once helped maintain Siberia's grasslands, they were a crucial part of that environment. Now, the real question is, if we revive something like the direwolf, where does it fit today? Supporters say the direwolf was a top predator, and we lack those in many ecosystems today. So, putting it back in the wild, especially in regions like North America where it originally lived, could help restore some ecological balance. But come on, do you really think a private company investing millions into this is doing it just for nature's sake? Or is it more likely they'll keep the animal locked up as a money-making exhibit? Let's be real, there's a much higher chance it ends up in a zoo than roaming free. And here's something else, direwolves didn't go extinct because of humans. It was natural. Climate change, ecosystem shifts, and the disappearance of prey animals did the job thousands of years ago. So if their old prey is gone, what would they eat now? Likely, they'd end up competing with gray wolves and other predators for food, throwing things out of balance. But wait, are we even really bringing back direwolves? Not exactly. What we have is basically a gray wolf with a few gene edits, 14 to be specific. A real genome has millions of genes. That's like changing a few words in a novel and calling it a new book. If these wolves share 99.5% of their DNA with direwolves, they're still not the real deal. Think about it. Bananas share about 60% of their DNA with humans. Changing a few genes wouldn't make a banana into a person. And the same goes chimps, which share 98.8% of our DNA. But if a scientist changes 14 genes in a chimp to make it more human-like, does that make it human? Of course not. Honestly, we should be focusing our efforts and funding on saving species that are still here but hanging by a thread. The vaquita porpoise, the world's rarest marine mammal, has fewer than 20 left in the wild. The Yangtze giant soft-shell turtle, Earth's largest freshwater turtle, has only 4 survivors, all in captivity. The western black rhinoceros vanished just over a decade ago, and the Spix's macaw, the real-life inspiration for the movie Rio, is now extinct in the wild. Northern white rhinos. Back in 1970, there were over 500. Now, just 2 elderly ones remain. Even pollinators like bees and butterflies are in crisis, with scientists warning that their decline could take a third of our food supply with it. These animals took millions of years to evolve, and we're watching them disappear in mere decades. We have the technology, the knowledge, and the chance to save thousands of species right now, but only if we protect their habitats and hold those in power accountable. A 2019 UN report warned that over 1 million species are on the brink of extinction. Act now, and we won't be left trying to rebuild what nature already perfected. I'm Zeeshan Mehsud. Take care and stay aware.